and it's right on the edge of the sea, equals better ball striking. And then the downswing is narrower, and there's the ball getting in the way of the club face. Under speed, you cannot hold, you cannot have lag like that to give you that correct sequence coming down. I'm reversing that. They would have good sequence. Get your arms away from your body, people. That's the width you're looking for. Is the biggest difference between someone who can create good ball striking or consistent ball striking and someone who's inconsistent. Hi everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. Thank you very much for joining me. My name is Warren Bennett, and if you've been to the channel before, you know who that is down there. And welcome to Furness Golf Club. You find me here in the northeast of England. You can see on the map there. And what a beautiful little gem of a golf course this is. So firstly, thank you to everyone here at Furness for opening their doors for me to do a video here. And I've just met Derek, the president, and what a lovely man, taking me through the history and telling me about Furness. And it's the 6th oldest golf club. Wow. So he was showing me, as you can see here, some of the history and the board they've got up here. And they celebrated in 2022 their 150th anniversary. So the club was founded in 1872. Wow. And you can see with the drone shots, we are right on the edge of the Irish Sea. And I think you can see Isle of Man over there. Hopefully the drone will be able to pick it up. Beautiful little golf course. Thank you very much to everyone here at Furness. And like I'm going to be doing with these guest videos, I'll put all the information about Furness down in the description below, their website, contact number. And if you're ever in this area, we've got the Lake District just over here. I can see the mountains there myself, so hopefully I'll throw the drone up and you'll be able to see that. Got like the big mountains of Scafell Pike, the tallest mountain in England, just over there. But what a beautiful little course. And it's right on the edge of the sea. How fantastic. You better see with the drone shot there. And thank you very much for everyone here at Furness, and made me feel very welcome. So let's get on with this video, which is all about better sequence equals better ball striking. Here, you want this ball to be hit first. I'm going to give you an exercise here that you can take on the golf course. You can do away from the golf course as well, on the range, at home. But more importantly, I can give you a feeling that you can take on the golf course straight away to improve this ball striking. Okay, let me get on with it, get Trev out the way, get the back camera set up, and we'll get going. Okay, just for video's sake, let me just hit a couple of shots just to get warmed up. I've hit a couple already, because I've just got out the car, got out here, and I can hit the ball pretty good, albeit very thin, that one. But I can make sure my strike is pretty consistent, and that is the difference between, I would say, a low handicapper, someone who's a consistent ball striker. They would have good sequence. So basically, good sequence means everything's kind of joining up, all this moving parts, and especially that's affecting the club in a way that can get down to that golf ball and hit that golf ball first and create that ball turf you're looking for. The golfer that creates inconsistent strike, fatting, thinning, the odd good one, is they would have not so good sequence. So I'm going to tell you what this sequence is. It's a WNW. It's basically for you to remember the correct sequence. The difference, like I said, between like a low handicapper, the golfer who creates not so good strike, is this sequence, because sequence affects the golf club. The first one is width. What you want to do at the top of the backswing, you want to create width at the top. You don't create width by moving your head over to the right. You create width by stretching your hands away from your shoulders as much as you can. You can see my backswing there, nice and short, but the club is behind my head. I haven't got my hands behind me. So width is getting your hands away from your chest. Obviously my right arm is slightly bent, but it's not acute. I've got a little bit bend to it, but you can see I've got a big gap between my elbow and my body. That's the width you're looking for. You're looking for a nice short arm swing, but the club is behind your head. Nice bit of hinge creates that. You can see with the angle between my left arm and club there. So width at the top of the backswing without swaying. So let me show you that. WNW, width to start with. And what that's going to do, that's going to set you up for the correct sequence coming down to the ball. And that's the most important bit. Set yourself up for success, because this bit is hard, or harder, because it's going much quicker. But we can do little exercises and feels to give you that correct sequence coming down, because the golfer who creates no width at the top of their backswing, probably by the club coming inside and then lifting to create length, is they're too narrow. If they're too narrow at the top of the backswing, it doesn't matter what you do under speed, your arms will probably chuck the club out in front of you, creating no lag, then you haven't got natural speed. Is a one-piece takeaway, and keeping your arms away from your body. Don't get sucked into getting a towel under your arms. If you want to create a nice little short pitching action or a chipping action, yes, your arms come along for the ride, but not for the club golfer who doesn't create good sequence. Get your arms away from your body, people. Get them away from your body. Look how much gap I've got here. I love gap at the top of the backswing. Get your arms disconnected. I know you may hear coaches going on about connection. I don't like it. Connection happens in the internals, down where the ball is. Okay, so width at the top of the backswing, that leads us down into the N, which is narrow. So the narrowness is basically the connection coming down. And you do that by getting wide at the top, and then you create this narrowness. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to get your hands away from you, and then I want you to really feel like this arm, this right arm, is getting into your belly there, getting in front of your hip. So you can do that at home, by the way. So you can get up the top of the backswing, and you can get your left hand, obviously if you're right-handed, the other side of your elbow, and you can really pull your elbow, or just get hold of your elbow and pull it inside. Nice and wide, pull it down in front of you. Get your elbow out in front of you. Remember, if you've got bad sequence, you've got your hands too close to your shoulders. From here, you're not going to create that elbow in front of you. The right arm's going to be out and it's going to be straightening too much. Under speed, you cannot hold, you cannot have lag like that. So you're creating this kind of width and then like a drop. I think I did a video back in the day about cracking the whip, and that's what it is. You're creating this whipping action. It's like a Sergio swing. It's exaggerated, obviously, and that's how you do it. So it's WN, wide to narrow. The majority of what goes on into impact and post impact is a result of what goes on before it. It's a cause and effect thing. Wide without moving my head, narrow, narrow. Let's do it. Oh, that was a nice one. That is the biggest difference between someone who can create good ball striking or consistent ball striking and someone who's inconsistent. The inconsistent golfers have narrow to wide. I want you to go wide to narrow. It's like you can do it with one arm. It's like you're slightly bent, only slightly, elbows out in front of your shoulder, as you can see from the behind view. From here, you're really dropping, you're kind of making more angle coming down. You can see that. It's exaggerated, you won't do that under speed, and especially if you've got a bad fault of straightening. So it's slightly bent to more bent. Wide, I call it, to narrow. And then you can start blending, nice and smooth drop. And it happens in a flow motion. No jerkiness, no speed change yet. Drop. My hands are away from me, my hands are closer to me. That won't happen under speed. Only a slight change will probably happen, especially if you've got a bad fault of kind of casting. Okay, you can put this on the tee. You don't need to necessarily hit full shot straight away. You're not going to work on the final W. Tell you what that is in a minute. Keep it nice and short. I'd rather you be shorter with a bit of hinge with the club behind you. Narrow. Okay, thin that a little bit, didn't time it. That was better. Whoa, that was late. Hands are going wider, as you can see here. And then the downswing is narrower. Okay, let's get on to the final W. So we've got the wide, we've got narrow, and guess what's coming next? It's wide again. Wide, narrow to wide. You're now letting that angle, you're letting that bent right arm go from under you. So you're letting that angle go now. So the person that creates bad sequence is narrow, wide, narrow. I'm reversing that to wide, narrow, to wide, And there's a little exercise you can do. Stop at each kind of junction. Wide, check it. Yep, right arm away from me. Exaggerate it, bend it right out in front of you. Look how much angle I've got here. My right arm, club still up in the air behind me. It's not over here. And now from here, you're letting this angle go, letting the club drop, but more importantly, you're straightening your right arm now. So you're slingshotting this angle down the line. You're slingshotting the club. You're obviously moving your hands towards where the target is, but you're straightening your arm at the same time. So you're looking for this angle to be kind of let go. There's that snap, there's that power, and there's the ball getting in the way of the club face. That ball turf you're looking for. Wide, narrow, and now we're really going to let it go this time. Oh, best one so far. And the good news is you only need an element of this. So remember at the end, I'm just going to throw in a little fast tracking posture you can do to kind of help it. Short is good, short is powerful. Remember, I'm twisting still, but my arm swing is short. Nice and wide, got a lovely gap. Really drop it in. Narrow that arm up. Narrow, straighten. Head nice and still throughout, remember. Stretch, narrow, and through. You can see with the slow motion there. Beautiful. Just like this sunshine. Get your hand again, this side of your elbow, and pull it in. Pull your elbow out in front of you. That's exaggerated. What you don't want is your elbow this side is away. Under speed, the club's going to throw. You're going to have to then make the compensations the wrong way, the bad sequence. We need good sequence. And remember, you only need a little bit of it. Remember, the secret to stretching away the width at the top of the backswing is not let your head go with you. Remember, there's a twisting. I'm not moving really far, but I'm doing it all with my hands and arms there. Really stretching away. Gives you the room to drop. That gives you the ability now to slingshot that hand down the line, and obviously the club as well. Wide, narrow, wide. Oh, that was good too. Oh, I could stay here all day. This is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so you might have the best wide to narrow to wide. If you're standing wrong, say for instance, you can see the line up the ball there. If I've got my head behind the ball, if I've got my hips kind of tucked back here, I'm not sitting over the top, is exaggerated. I'm not sitting over the top of the ball. I'm going to have to do a lot of corrections to try and get this side of the ball at impact, because that's what you're looking for. You're looking for your head to be pretty much over the ball. It can be slightly off. Hands ahead of the ball. That's really important, because you don't want your hands behind. You want to try and set yourself up for success. You want to try and imitate impact as best you can. Hands ahead, and then you don't want your hips kind of, you can see there, behind the ball. You'd rather your hips this side, so give your hips a little twist or push them slightly towards the target, and you can see the difference between the bad one and the good one. Here, it's probably a little bit exaggerated, but here, I'm really setting myself up for this side of the ball instead of this side of the ball. From this side of the ball, I'm going to have to make massive correction, and that's going to be too difficult. So if you're not sure about where your head is, I can plumb bob it. So just holding the end of the club very lightly, put it on the nose, drop it. So it's roughly slightly behind the ball, but that's okay. You just don't want to be extreme. So head's pretty good. Push your hands forward without opening the club face. I'll clean that off. Push forward without opening the club face. You can see there. So you push forward, keeping the leading edge looking at the target, and then give your hips a slight nudge. I'm exaggerating that probably. Okay, I'm really ahead here. Let's go for it. Wide, narrow, slingshot those arms. Remember, most of the slingshot comes by what comes before impact, cause and effect. But remember, having a short backswing is more powerful than having a long one with your arms collapsing at the top. You don't want any collapsing at all. You'd rather be that side of the fence, nice and short with the arms, than this side of the fence. So again, thank you very much for everyone here at Furness Golf Club. And I've never been this far west, and if you ever are and you've got your golf clubs in the boot, come and have a little game here. I'll leave, like I said, all the info to the club in the description. So like I said, it's the 6th oldest golf club. So if you want to play the 6th oldest golf club, Furness is the place to be. time it right and you'll be able to see all the mountains, which you can see there with the drone. Yeah, so it's not overwhelming in terms of length of golf course, small little greens, but it looks like it's got a load of character to it. So hopefully one day I'll come back and play it. That'd be really nice. So I like visiting the lake, so I might just come over here just quickly. Very easy, very accessible. So again, thank you for everyone here at Furness for allowing me to use the facilities here for this video. Okay everyone, so I might just finish off and hit the rest of these balls. I want to take advantage of this beautiful day. So from myself and Trev, who's waited very patiently, we'll see you on the next video. Have a great golfing week everyone, and we'll see you then. Cheerio!